What's up guys, RB here with Compound Trading Group. Today's video is part 3 of our market structure series. In this video we will look at higher time frames and how to utilize them trading intraday. Hope you enjoy. Alright guys, I just want to start this off. We're looking at a 30-minute chart. This is SPY. I've taken it back to Wednesday pre-market going into Thursday afternoon. And so what I like to do is on the 30-minute chart is just kind of get market structure. As you can see, we were in a downtrend. And so if we start plotting our top here, this is our last lower high. We pushed down and made a lower low. And right now we're just sitting in this congestion range. And so as you know, with fair market value, I like to mark our fair market value. So we'll take the fib tool, we'll draw it. We'll get our 50% fib retracement. That's where price is balanced. And as you can see, every time we get to this price right here, the market kind of revolves around it. EMAs are blown through and we get into a congestion period. So as you can see in 30-minute chart, this congestion, everybody might look at this spot right here and ask why I didn't mark a higher high. I meant a lower high and a lower low right here, which would keep us in a downtrend. The reason I didn't is if you look at a 1-hour chart in this same time period, it's a pause in the market. So we pushed down, we had a pause in the market and kept pushing down. Now on a lower time frame, this is a structure point. As you can see, especially if we come down to the 5-minute chart within this, we did put in a series here. But on a 30-minute chart, to me, it's more of a pause in the market, so I'm going to leave it that way. And that's just kind of how I interpret the structure here. You're more than welcome to make that a higher high and a higher low. If you do get back to the point of the top, you do need to look for a change of character and see. So if you don't break this top and you come off of it, you want to see the change of character just to show you that you're back in this congestion zone. But for me, I'm going to market this as a pause in the market. We just took a pause and then continue the sell off, and this is one move for me. So I have a high, I have a low, and now we're in congestion in the middle of these two. So what I want to do is look coming into this day. Even though this is in congestion right here, we do have a series of higher highs and higher lows being put in even on a 30-minute chart. And even though we're in congestion, I still like to mark these structures because on lower time frame, these are structures. So if we take a high right here and we come down and you see we made a low right here. And then we respect that high. That high was broken right there. Made a new high right here. And we made a new low right here. And so coming into this next day, if we look what happened in pre-market, we broke that high. So we have a few options into this day. We could do this number right here on a 30-minute chart. We made a high, so we could come down. We made a low here, and we can make the move up. Or we can do this number right here, come down and hold this range in pre-market, and then come back down to make a low pre-market, right? And make this move up. So those are two possibilities that I'm kind of looking at in the morning coming in this session. How I know which one we're looking at doing is I'll go to a smaller time frame at open, and so you see if we come to a 5-minute chart at open, and we'll go through candles here and see what happens. As you can see, okay, we push down. So plan 2 is intact, and if we look at just areas of opportunity for the trade, right? We're always looking at, okay, if we're back on a 30-minute chart, where's the area of interest this pullback could come to? And we know right here, the old support, the old bottom. This is one right here. We have a little demand zone created right here on the 30-minute chart. We've tapped into it once. We could go to our fib tool, and we could grab this right here, this area right here. So if we look at the 50% 618 area right here, could be an area of interest. So we can add a little line in right here on the 50% retracement. And all this is an area we set into. So if we know we're looking for a pullback, where might this pullback take place? That's all we're asking. And so what we'll do is, as we get to this area, we'll come down to a smaller time frame chart. For me personally, I like to use the 1 minute. And what I will be looking for is structure to make lows, make lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, and then have a change of character, right? So if we come to the 1 minute chart, push this open, I'll show you exactly what we're talking about. So as we're pushing through, we make a low, right? We break that low, we make a lower high, we would make a low, and so we'll start tracking this structure for you right here. As you can see, we break that low and we make a new low, and so we have a high right here. And we'll push through a little bit more. So we have a low. Okay, and as you can see here, we did not break that low. We kind of put in a double bottom. So we still have a high right here. So let's push through so a little bit more candles. All right, so we break that low right there. There's a new break. So now we have a lower high right here. All right, and we break that low. You see this low right here. We break another low right there. We put in a lower high. So now what we're doing is we're waiting for a change of character to happen. And when I say change of character, you can watch our other videos. It's where we have a high structure. We'll break the high structure, right? We'll change the character of the trend. This isn't a downtrend, making lower lows, lower highs. We'll break the high and come in to make a higher low, and that means the trend has a change of character. So now we're going into an uptrend. And so as we'll play this through, we'll keep playing it through. All right, so we get a break of structure right there. And we'll push down, make a low. So what you see right here is you have a double bottom on a 1 minute chart. You have a change of character. Here's your high right here. So as I'm trading this live, my thesis is this on a 30-minute chart. My thesis is that we were going to put in a higher low. Within this congestion block, we are making an uptrend in a micro structure of the 30-minute chart. So your 15-minute, your 5-minute are in an uptrend. The 1 minute is in the pullback. So your 1 minute is in the downtrend, which is the pullback on the higher time frame. So our thesis in this trade was for the pullback to come into this area of interest and make an uptrend, right? To start an uptrend to break these levels right here. So your first level break would be right here. And your second level would be the top of the congestion. So as you can see, we made this pullback to the area of interest. This is where I love the 1 minute chart, because now I can get into a trade a lot earlier on a 1 minute chart. So now we know with the 1 minute chart, double bottom. Boom, we got our confluence here of the high. We got the bottom here. So now what we can do is we can pop this fib right here. And you could wait for a few things. You could wait for the break of the 5, and then the 5 become support, and look for an entry of a trade right up in this area right here of influence. You could take this high right here, this supply zone. So you have a little mini supply zone right here. You could wait for the break of it and become support. You could have got in on the double bottom 1 minute chart, or you could draw a fib on the shorter trade, right? So here's your high right here. Here's your low. There's your low there. So there's your 5. Here's your support on the 5. So you could get in right here on the 0.5, the golden fib. And these are just opportunities to get in. First target could be this 1272. Now here's what we're looking at on the 1 minute chart. 1 minute chart, we had a change of character. Our overall thesis is for the 30-minute chart to put in the higher low and make the trend up. So now what we want to see, if you're in the trade, if you got in right here, now we want to see the 5 minute chart make the same change of character. So if we look at our structure, we had a high, we had a low, right? We broke that low, we made a high. And we put in a low here, high here. So now what we're looking for is for this high right here, this change of character. So you have your low, this was the 1 minute structure. So your macro of the 5 minute chart, we broke that low, right? So now we put in a low. Now we want a change of character on the 5-minute chart. If we get this change of character on the 5-minute chart, this is confluence. That's your 30-minute chart. That was the bottom on a 30-minute chart. And what we did was use the 1-minute chart to get an early entry. But the change of character on the 5-minute is confluence, that this will play out on a 30-minute structure. So your targets on a 30-minute structure can come in play. I'll always suggest in a 1-minute chart to take profit early. So if you're in a 1-minute chart, you could run it to the 5-minute structure, take half off. Once the 5-minute change of character breaks, you could add another half when it came back down and pulled into an area of interest. Or you could just ride out the half the shares that you have and let it play out and see how it did. So if we push forward on a 5-minute chart now, let's see what we get. So we get a push up, right? Okay, boom, there's our change of character. So exactly what we were looking for has played out. Our 5-minute chart is changing characters now, which that means high probability that the 30-minute chart is intact. The 30-minute chart, our thesis for the 30-minute chart was right, and it is playing out exactly how we want it. So now we can go to 30 minutes. So now what we're looking for from that pullback is we broke change of character would be a pullback into an area of interest. And we have a few here. We have this liquidity right in here. We have this zone right here, demand zone. So we could get a pullback. Let's see. And there you go. So here's your change of character, right? We had a change of character. We had a pullback, held the 0.5 fib for this pullback, healthy pullback. And what you see now that you got that change of character is this move up. And so we could play it to the 30-minute structure target, right? Our goal is right here for this congestion zone. The overall trade was that target 1 was the high, right? High of pre-market. Target 2 was the congestion zone high. And what we were expecting being in congestion, how when we came down here, made the low, right? We failed to take out the high. And we came back down. We failed to take out high, came back down. So that tells me this is a congestion phase. So our expectation of this trend right now is the congestion top. We could do a liquidity sweep, work back down, right? Back down into the fair market value, FMV. Or, we could take out the top, come down, make a higher low, and get out of congestion and make this 30-minute chart an uptrend. So if we push forward on the 5-minute chart, let's see if we can get that, right? We push forward, there's target 1. Push up. You got to get a pullback, a healthy pullback. And there we go. Target 2 with the small sweep. So, if we look at the 30-minute chart, this played out perfect. There's our congestion top. We hit the top, we sweep the top, we come back down. So now we have to ask ourselves, coming into the next day, we are in a 30-minute micro trend uptrend, but we were in a 30-minute congestion macro trend. And how I knew this was congestion is look at your EMAs. Look how it's handling. Look at the chop, right? Look at your candle wicks. This is a micro uptrend on a smaller time frame. But my expectation was to hit this top, right? Maybe a small liquidity sweep, push that down. So coming into the next day, my trade thesis, with the market sentiment, news out, everything happening, you have earnings coming out that Apple made the earnings, but their future plans wasn't great. Amazon missed. The market sentiment is not good. Inflation, numbers, nothing is good about the market. So my thesis is this 30-minute congestion will play out. And so we'll hit the top, we'll push the top, right? Push the top, work back down to fair market value. So coming into the next day with a 30-minute chart, I know we put in a high. Let's see if we work a downtrend coming back in, right? So we're going to do the same exact process. So we'll go. So in pre-market, we push the low. All right, here's market open. Sell off into congestion. And if we look at a smaller time frame, we work the same plan, right? A 5-minute chart uptrend. Well, do we break? Change of character, right? So here is a 5-minute low. Here's your 5-minute high. So you have a 5-minute congestion zone already happening within a 30-minute congestion. So until you break the low of the 5-minute, you're in a congestion zone. But overall thesis was down, correct? So we could look at a 1 minute chart and see, okay. So if we looked at a 1 minute chart coming in this, and this is fair market value, we know puts above, calls below, right? So now we're above, we're paying cheaper for puts on top. So we could have went in the morning, we made a high, we broke that high, right? So we made a low right here. We made a high, that high held right there. So if we zoom in so you can see a little better, and we broke a low. So there's your change of character for the downtrend, right? Here's your pullback right here. So our thesis would be to find a spot to get in short. And once you get that spot, you could have did a micro change of character for traders that are experienced in micro structure on a smaller time frame, smaller than a 1 minute, say a 30-minute time frame. You have a small change of character within that. So if this is a high right here, you broke that high, set this low, you broke that low, you retested liquidity into here. Here's your entry point. You push down, here's another entry point right here. You're felling, you continually fail. If we do look at a larger time frame, 15-minute, you'll see the same thing kind of play out in that structure. If you come to the 30-minute chart, you know, we fell to 200, we stayed below the 200 on a 30-minute chart. On a 10-minute chart, you know, we're pushing below VWAP. What we got that 1 minute micro change of character. Now we have the 1 minute change of character, so we're expecting push down. And being in congestion, you already got fair market value with a downtrend. As long as your 5-minute chart holds this downtrend, my target is 412, 413, the bottom of congestion. And that's exactly what we did Friday. We got the change of character. Here's your 5-minute change of character, right? There's your low. You broke the low, and we pushed down. And we work all the way down. And so guys, that's how you take market sentiment. You take higher time frames when you're looking at a higher time frame chart, and you can put together a trading plan based on those time frames of exactly how you'll play it, how it works out, you know. And it's like, it's just writing a book, right? We were looking for the higher low on the micro trend was up within this congestion block. We get the top of congestion, we sweep, we came down. Guys, this isn't hindsight trading. I called this live in Discord. So if you want to see it live, you're more than welcome to join our Discord. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed.